StrangeLuv here, and a lot of you have been asking me what I think of Call of Duty Ghosts now that they've done their big multiplayer reveal. So for this video I figured I would give you guys my opinion on some of the things that COD Ghosts has revealed to us about their multiplayer so far. So, let's get started. So when I first saw the Call of Duty Ghosts multiplayer trailer, the first thing I thought was that it looks like Black Ops 2. The art direction looks the same, there's even a quad rotor in it, okay? So this looked more like a Black Ops 2 DLC than a new Call of Duty game. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but what worries me is that if it plays anything like Black Ops 2, I'm gonna be really disappointed. So hopefully it won't be quite so bad, but I can't really judge it just by the trailer itself. However, some of the maps do look pretty interesting, and they seem like they have a good layout, you know? A lot of the old maps seem like they filter you down sort of 3 different directions and you can't really get around any other way, so people can just post up in those spots. These maps look like they're a little bit more dynamic and well laid out, and you won't be forced to go in certain directions. You can probably flank the enemy team in all sorts of directions, at least that's what I'm hoping. Plus, I'm really happy about the whole dynamic maps thing, because as some of you guys should know, I've been a huge proponent of them adding dynamic maps to Call of Duty for a long time now, and it's just unfortunate that they're doing all of this now. It seems kind of late in the game. All of these dynamic map elements and destructible areas of the map should have been added back in Modern Warfare 3 at least. But I'm happy that they're adding these things now. I know in a lot of the gameplay, some of the buildings are destructible, there's statues that fall over, and buses falling off cliffs and stuff. Now what I'm wondering about is whether or not everything in the maps are destructible, or if there's only certain buildings that can be destroyed. Because if it's only certain buildings, then it seems like people would either avoid those buildings or post up and camp around them with their C4, waiting to get like a environmental kill with those things. But if the whole map is destructible, then that makes it really dynamic, which is the point of having dynamic maps. So I'm glad to see all of this being implemented, and hopefully it turns out alright. I'm also really happy to see that they're adding new movement mechanics to Call of Duty, things like leaning, sliding, and vaulting over objects. All of these things are welcome changes for me, and I have no doubt in my mind that they got a ton of influence from Medal of Honor Warfighter, and as far as the vaulting goes, Battlefield 3. And that's really smart of them to add these elements into their game, because when I was playing Warfighter, I love Warfighter and everything, don't get me wrong, but the leaning and the sliding and just some of the cool things that you could do in Warfighter, I couldn't help but think that these things would be really cool in Call of Duty. And the skeptic in me was like, oh no, they won't do that in Call of Duty, but I give them props for actually going and making the change and adding leaning mechanics and stuff like that to the movement. I think it'll fit the Call of Duty fast-paced mechanic a little bit better. And hopefully, maybe, just maybe, I can get back together my people from Team Lean from Medal of Honor Warfighter. You guys know who you are. And, you know, we can have some fun leaning and whatnot like we used to do. So I'm happy that they added this new mechanic to the game. Now, another thing that a lot of people seem to be excited about is the character customization. And I'm glad that they added that, but I'm kind of wondering how in-depth it is, and whether or not customizing your character is worth the trouble. Because if you can just dress up your character and make all these customizations just for aesthetic reasons, it kind of seems pointless to do so. Especially because they said that they're adding a whole bunch of new perks and stuff. Personally, I think they should have did away with the perks, or at least got rid of a ton of them, and make some of the perk abilities things that you can do by implementing certain things onto your character. So for example, if you wanted the effects of Tac Mask, the perk, you would instead just equip a Tac Mask on your character. And if you wanted like a Blast Shield, you would instead equip a vest that acts the same way onto your character. So that way the character customization kind of plays a role in your gameplay experience, and it won't be just an aesthetic thing. And I could be wrong, maybe that is what they did, and maybe customizing your character in the new Ghosts will actually do something for you. But the fact that they have all these perks and everything makes me think that the character customization is just for aesthetic reasons, and that you're going to have to depend heavily on your perks, basically, if you want to have a souped-up character. But really, less is more, and the fact that they added more perks and added more this and that, it's really going to make for unbalanced gameplay, and for me, balance is everything. So I just kind of was wishing that they cut back on some of these kill streaks and perks and stuff, but it looks like they went in the other direction. So that's something I'm kind of on the fence about. They did say that they added a new gun class called Marksman Rifle, which is basically like a rifle that you can make semi-automatic, or you can just do a single fire iron sight gun. And Mark Rubin in the little press conference thing compared it to using the Kar 98 from Call of Duty 2, and you shouldn't be making comparisons like that unless you're gonna deliver on it, okay? So unless the Marksman Rifles offer bolt-action guns that give you that same experience as the Kar 98K, the experience that people loved with that gun, he shouldn't be comparing it to that, because I have a feeling that they don't have any bolt-action rifles in the Marksman Rifle class. Again, I could be wrong, but we haven't seen some decent bolt-action guns besides scoped snipers since World at War. And there's a ton of people, myself included, who loved using bolt-action rifles, from the Mosin Nagant in World at War to the Kar 98K in COD 2, like I said. So I'm really going to hold Mark Rubin to that statement, and I'm hoping that this Marksman Rifle class delivers the way he says it does. So we'll have to wait and see. They also said that they changed the scope on the rifles so that the scope doesn't take up your whole screen anymore, and now you have the peripheral vision around the scope, which I think is a really cool thing to add. I'm just wondering if they're bringing back quick scoping, as I'm sure a lot of you are wondering too. And I know a lot of you are probably fans of quick scoping, and I don't want to offend anybody here, but here I go. I really hate quick scoping. I can't stand it. I'm sorry. But yeah, it's really irritating. So I'm just wondering if they're bringing back quick scoping to, you know, appease that chunk of audience or whatever. And it's not my cup of tea, and I'm hoping they kind of change that and make it so that you can't really quick scope too much. And I didn't really see too much quick scoping in the gameplay footage that has been released. But then again, that doesn't mean it's not there. So we'll have to see if that's actually been implemented or not. And since we're on the topic of guns, there's one more thing I wish they would have done. I wish they would have made like a gunsmithing system like how Ghost Recon did, where you can really craft your own gun from the ground up, from scratch, and pick every little part of it, instead of having this system that they've been working with for the past however many Call of Duties, where you just kind of throw on one or two random attachments and there you go. I'd rather be able to control how my whole gun works and know that because I built it a certain way, it's going to work a certain way. But now we're just given, you know, all these default guns and you throw on attachments, which has been the customary thing through Call of Duty. I just kind of was hoping that they would do something a little more innovative. Since they are pushing this whole customization thing with your characters, they should have pushed it a little further and applied that to the weapons. So that's kind of unfortunate. They've also announced that they're adding a couple new game modes. One of them's called Cranked, and that's basically like Team Deathmatch, but every 30 seconds, if you don't get a kill, you get blown up by a bomb, which sounds pretty fun. It seems like they're trying to encourage a lot of fast-paced movement and moving around killing things, so they're trying to avoid campers, which is a good thing. So I might like Cranked. I'll give it a try. They're also adding, what is it? Search and rescue. Search and rescue. So it's like search and destroy, but I guess you pick up your teammates' tags and you can revive them, basically. And you can pick up enemy tags and that'll keep them dead. So that adds an interesting dynamic to search and destroy. I'm personally not a search and destroy fan because it was just a little too slow-paced of a game for me. But maybe search and rescue is a little bit more fast-paced. But one thing I'm worried about with their addition of new game modes is the fact that the more game modes there are, the harder it is to find a lobby sometimes, because people are going to be spread out amongst all these different game modes, and a lot of people are just going to stick to what they like and what they know, like Team Deathmatch, Domination, Search and Destroy, that all of these cool periphery game modes are going to be a little bit neglected and there won't be as many people playing them. And you certainly get that now with some of the older Call of Duties, so as Call of Duty Ghosts progresses, it'll get harder and harder to find lobbies if you're going to make a million different game modes for people to play in. And we're also dividing up the audience among next-gen and previous-gen Call of Duties. So you're going to have half of the people not even playing with you anymore because they've moved on to the Xbox One or the PS4 or whatever, and then the other half of the audience is still sitting back playing the older generation console. So I'm just wondering if it's going to be really hard to find some lobbies for certain game modes, but I do applaud them for adding some new additions to the game. I do hope that they bring back Face Off, because in Modern Warfare 3 that was one of the highlights for me for Modern Warfare 3, but Face Off just came a little bit too late for Modern Warfare 3. You know, it was added on with the DLC, and I thought if they had added that at launch, Modern Warfare 3 would have been a lot better, in my opinion. So, since that is something that Infinity Ward sort of implemented, I'm hoping that they bring it back, and that they will at least do it some justice and add it at launch and not as a DLC thing. But we'll have to wait and see. They're also adding some new co-op elements to the game, which is basically like their way of rehashing survival mode. They do have a horde mode and stuff, but I wasn't too big on survival mode in Modern Warfare 3, so I don't know how much of the co-op I'll be playing. But they did add this new thing called Squad Assault, where you can set up a little squad and then go around and kill a bunch of AI in whatever map. And to me, that sounds a lot like Terrorist Hunt from Rainbow Six Vegas 2, and I absolutely loved playing Terrorist Hunt. So if it's anything like that, I think it'll be a lot of fun, and hopefully they set it up in a way that isn't too terribly boring. But yeah, I guess I'll give co-op a shot if, you know, they implemented it right. Speaking of squads, they did add this new squad system. I wasn't really big on squads in any game type, but, you know, if people play with teammates and they have like a set team, it's better to reward them. So I think the squad option is a cool idea. Plus, they're making it affect all the prestiging and stuff too. So it won't just be useless squad elements in the game. So overall, Call of Duty Ghosts, it looks alright. You know, it might shape up to have a halfway decent multiplayer, and I'm willing to give it a try, and I'm just a little bit excited for it. Just a little bit. And I'm hesitant only because I got so excited for the last two Call of Duties, both Modern Warfare 3 and Black Ops 2, just to be pretty thoroughly disappointed by both of those, and I don't want that to happen again with Call of Duty Ghosts. So my opinion's not only tarnished by that, but I also am really excited for games like Titanfall to come out, and so maybe that's sort of influencing how I'm feeling about Call of Duty Ghosts, because I'm just so excited about all these new IPs that Ghosts is sort of on the back burner. But I am a little excited for the game, and I do want to see it succeed, because I am a Call of Duty fangirl, and I've been playing since Call of Duty 2, and I want to see it do well. You know, I want them to come out with another fun Call of Duty experience that sort of takes you back to all the fun that you used to have in Call of Duty, or at least what I used to experience. So if you guys are excited for Call of Duty Ghosts, let me know in the comments below what you think of the multiplayer reveal so far, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks so much for watching, and stay strange, my loves. Until next time, this is StrangeLuv signing out. Bye-bye!
Rock the beat. Ay, 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 ay.